Follow us to stay tuned on what's going on. When Gary Vee talks about the future of live social shopping, this right here is what he's talking about. This is Outlandish Agency. There is booths on booths on booths of people going live on TikTok Shop. As we come into the front, you're going to see so much more. Outlandish does anywhere between 40 and $50 million a month. They're just all going live, making sales on TikTok Shop. As you can see up here, this is what it looks like on TikTok Shop right now. So people can comment, they can buy the item, and they hire these live hosts to come and display the products. The other thing about Outlandish is that you can actually purchase the items that you see on the live streams here in store. And this right here is what the outside looks like. Live social shopping is about to take over the US. So if you're not already watching, follow us to stay tuned on what's going on.
Live shopping is about to take over Africa as well, not just the US. I think the US is a little behind. Where this originated from was China. China is the one that came up with this game because they were producing so much stuff that they needed to find ways to sell it. Because most of the people that were, in production were just exporting cheap goods to the US. So instead of waiting for months, for them to make those sales, they figured out a way to tap into the domestic market and sell some of the surplus to the local Chinese market. As China started getting more and more wealthy, the middle class was growing. So the middle class could actually afford some of the things that were producing in the country. So that's when, because the competitive nature of, China, somebody came up with the bright idea to start live shopping. I think this is a fantastic, untapped idea for the simple fact that if you are looking to get into, like selling goods in Africa, you don't necessarily have to hold inventory anymore. You can set up a whole live shopping infrastructure because here in Africa, people need this. Merchants need this. Let me play a short video. It's a pretty long video, actually, not a short one, by this creator called Dawood. Dawood Akudanda, whatever his name is. I know I butchered the name. Forgive me. Dawood is becoming one of my favorite creators here on YouTube because he goes to different parts of Africa and he shows, a different perspective of what Africa is to the world. These are some of the things I already know, that I already see. Let me tell you the concept and the idea you can implement here. This would be low cost. You don't have to hold any inventory. The only thing you're focusing on is sales, sales, sales. Let me play this part right here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about.
Shops, I believe. So yeah, unlike the beginning of the video, we have got a more relaxed approach moving forward. So we're gonna check out some of the clothes shops here. People seems more friendly now than that place. I think that place was a little bit more closed and poor area. That's why they tried to kick me out because I was filming while trying to find something to eat. But I never meant anything bad, of course.
Dawood went to a local market over there in Lusaka, Zambia, and he was looking for a football shirt for Zambia. And it took him a while to figure out which stall was selling it. And even when he got to the stall that was selling it, the customer service overall was not all that. Even though some of these store owners are selling to the domestic market, they market the foot traffic, they're only depending on foot traffic. But they're not tapping into this, to the mobile device. This right here, if you go to a lot of these markets, let me play it on mute. If you go to most of the local markets, you're going to see people with smartphones. You might see some of them in this video as well. See, this is the part where he's looking for, that shirt, and he bumped into somebody. He's asking for somebody for what he's looking for. So the concept here is you look for a lot of these people that are already holding inventory, and then you set up a live studio close to the market right there. Maybe you can rent a stall and you set up your cameras, you do live shopping. You have one day where you're selling bags just for kids. You saw a guy that had bags, right? There's a guy in this video that was selling only bags. So there are a lot of kids here in Africa that need bags for school, especially when it comes to the holiday season. So in order for you to capitalize on that demand, you set up your live your studio over there by the market. Then you're going on Instagram Live, TikTok Live, and Facebook Live. And then you're selling to the domestic market. You know, it could be in Lusaka, it could be in other cities over there in Zambia. And you're saying, we have 100 or 1,000 bags over there here in this market. And we're selling them in bulk. If you want to buy, you know, we're having a good deal here. We have the best deal in town. So you're selling in volume. So let's say your competitors are selling these bags for, let's say, $50 a piece. You're coming into the market at $49 a piece. And maybe you're delivering. And you're selling in volume because you're not holding any inventory. And you strike up you go to these guys and you negotiate better deals. And then you're selling them on live to people in different parts, or maybe somebody who doesn't want to go to this market but lives in Lusaka, you can deliver those bags to them because they got such a good deal. Then you can have a bunch of guys that can deliver. There's so many ways you can finesse this live shopping thing and capitalize on that here in Africa. Imagine you set up that studio. It's not going to cost you very much. All you need is a bunch of cameras. And you're also bringing value to these merchants. The value that you're delivering to these merchants is they're able to get a new or tap into a new market that they don't currently have. Because a lot of these guys, they don't know anything about the social media game. They don't know how to navigate it. But if you are young, if you're savvy, or if you're smart, and if you're Zambian, you can do this. If you're Zimbabwean, you can do this. If you're South African, you can do this. Kenyan, you can do this. Tanzania, you can do this. Go to your local market, figure out categories that are best sellers. So I talked about school bags, you know, maybe football shirts, maybe you have, each day will have its own theme. Kind of like that studio that I just showed you, this one right here. Kind of like this one, where you have, you know, maybe separate booths, multiple booths in that section. There are all kinds of ways to navigate that and make a profit. And then you hire only the best salespeople. And there are plenty of people here in Africa that are good, that need work. They just need that opportunity. You hire the best of the best people that are good at being in front of the camera. They're dressed real nice and sharp, good lighting, you know. And it's just nothing but online shopping. But this is the new wave. This whole thing of going to these sites where you have to go search for product and then, you know, contact the seller. That's old school now. This new generation is going to embrace live shopping because everybody's on this thing. You go to some of these markets, like I said, you know, before you even like talk to a merchant, some of these guys are just obsessed on their phone like this. You come over here to Dar es Salaam, most of the cool places that I go to shop, there's this neighborhood called Sinza here in Dar es Salaam. Sinza is where you get all your cool stuff, all your cool clothes, you know, really high-end stuff from China, from Turkey. If I need my suits, I go to Sinza. A lot of these guys in these stores, they just own their mobile devices, you know, TikTok, Instagram. So that's where the younger generation is at anyway. So make sure when you do this, you're dominating with the live shopping in your country or whatever country you decide to do business in. And this idea is so cool because it'll be easier to do a partnership with somebody because all your sales are going to be online anyway. So you can track to make sure that everything is good there. You can put up the right systems to make sure if you're to do a partnership with somebody in Zambia, or you do it yourself, get residency in Zambia and set this up yourself. And if you need help with all of this, then let's talk. I got a game plan for you if you're trying to do something like this, where you're tapping into these merchants, check this out. He finally got what he needed. I'm glad I got to this part. Finally got to what he needed, but it took him a while to get what he needed. If you want to set up something like this, where you're helping these merchants sell online, look at how much merchandise this lady has. She spent thousands of dollars on this. I can tell. This inventory is like at least $5,000 worth. But you can set up something like, the live shop room with your cameras for like $3,000. Help her make sales. You think she wants to be on live? She doesn't. But if you want to be on live, you know how to do sales. You learn the number one skill, which is sales. And I can teach you how to do this and how to set up the infrastructure. Schedule time. I put a link in the description of this video. This would be a paid consultation, guys. This means that when you work with me, I give you a playbook on how to do this, how to promote it, how to brand it the right way, so you can start making money out here. Low cost idea. I hope you got some value from this video. Schedule time for your paid consultation. If you want some free game, just keep watching some free videos on this channel. All right, talk to you soon.